Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a market review video. In this video, I'll just be going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe an altcoin chart or two, but essentially I'm just going to take a look at the market, see what I missed over the weekend. I wasn't really actively trading this weekend because I didn't want to get chopped up, and also because for Bitcoin there was a lot of untapped lower liquidity here. Oh, and I should also mention before I go any further, Binance is down right now, so TradingView, the data is behind. The current price of Bitcoin is 23,064, which is essentially directly at my equilibrium right here. Just actually literally right at my equilibrium, so that's good to see. So yeah, this price is a little bit out of date. Anyway, so this weekend I wasn't really too interested in a long position because of all of this untapped liquidity here. Right, all of this right here. So what that means is, let's say you're in a long position, right? If your long entry is, I don't know, let's say you bought the lows here, something like this, and you have a tight stop. Maybe your stop originally was below here and you were targeting like that, right? Valid trade, nothing wrong with that. As price goes up, you move your stop loss up. Maybe you move them to below the lows, right? Because if price would go back to those lows, your argument would be invalid. So that's how liquidity gets built up below these lows. Okay, same idea for, I don't know, something like in here or even these lows right here. If you went for a breakout trade above the range high, something like if you entered here, you'd basically be putting your stop loss below the spring, right? Because if price would return to that low, we can assume that it'd go lower. Okay, so more built up liquidity below there, price dumps through it, takes all of this resting liquidity that has not been taken since the 18th or actually the 17th. So nice flush of liquidity, so that's good. I'm actually not sure if it ran these lows on other exchanges. I don't want to pull up any other chart because I don't know what I have up right now, but regardless, all of this liquidity was taken, maybe this liquidity as well, depending on what exchange you're looking at. But either way, that was the flush that I was looking for to now look for long positions. So what I would need to see is maybe another failed breakdown in like the 22, 23, 22.3K area. So if we go to the equilibrium, kind of slow bleed down, maybe try and go for the lows again, but fail, come back up. This would be a long for me directly to the range high. This is just a normal range trading play, and this would probably be the trade actually, something exactly like that. Okay, so that's what I would look for. Or if we don't get another retest of those lows, I would also look to long above the equilibrium, maybe with a stop like around here with a target of the untapped highs, or actually the previous highs right here. And why I say that is when price typically sweeps highs or lows, the swing high that price swept is typically going to act as resistance on the way up or down on the next retest. Okay, so something like this, we would look to take profit there at the previous highs. And actually, we have these untapped highs here, so that's good confluence as well. So something like this is also another trade I would take for Bitcoin. So I am still in the, looking for a long mindset. It's just really making sure I get a good entry so that I don't have to keep my stop loss too tight or anything like that. So essentially waiting for either above the equilibrium to long or another potential failed breakdown at 22.3K. So with Ethereum has been just getting dunked on the last few days, and I did attempt, how many longs? 2 longs. Yeah, 2 longs this month. I'm just looking at my other monitor here. 2 longs that both got stopped out, which is unfortunate, but doesn't really matter too much. Same idea with Ethereum here, actually. All of this lower liquidity was finally taken. I was wondering when this would be taken because, all of these untapped lows, right? We could have bounced here last night, but obviously that failed because, again, we swept all of that liquidity and had a nice strong reaction, but we didn't reclaim 650. 650 has really been an important area for price to reclaim over the last few days. You can see it was chopping around that level for quite a while. So probably the same idea for Ethereum. And again, the data is delayed. The current price of Ethereum is, let me see, current price of Ethereum is 617. Okay, so price is below the high time frame resistance here, or the previous range high here. Okay, so if we get back above those range highs, I may look to long. This is probably going to be a decent amount of resistance on the way up, like 635. So I may even wait for a reclaim of 635 before entering into a long position. But the good part about this is now we have all of this untapped liquidity to the upside, right? So we took all of that downside liquidity. Now what? Now we're going for the upside liquidity. And this is just a series of lower highs, essentially, right? So what I do in that situation is when I'm entering into a long position, I am targeting the, let's say if I enter here, something like this maybe. I'm targeting the original high and the series of lower highs, okay? Because all of that liquidity will be built up at the lower highs, all in here, okay? So that's what I'm looking for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I actually don't think I want to go over any altcoin charts because Litecoin. Let me go over Litecoin because I still am in a Litecoin trade. We broke down from the structure on Litecoin, which is fine. Again, if you've been following my trades in the group for a while, you know that this is a typical pattern where we create this like bullish pattern, but actually break down from it, deviate below, then reclaim it. Okay, so if that happens, I'll look to be compounding my position maybe at like 110, 115, somewhere in that area, and just taking profit at my last take profit. But my first two take profits hit for like a total of 4R, I believe, so that was nice. But I still think really everything looks fine, and the flush we saw today is actually really good for the market and good for, stuff that I look for, because now I feel actually safe longing and not like I'm just going to get trapped in the liquidity pool with my stop loss. But I'm feeling good about the market. I'm looking for longs, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.